All right. Welcome all to the 11th episode of the Preserving Freedom podcast. Before we get started with our very unique, very special, they're all special. All right. This one's a little different, though. First time for Preserving Freedom podcast. Just want to remind all our followers, our listeners, truly appreciate the support. Continue to like, continue to follow, continue to share their stories. They have done so much for us. Let's continue to spread the wealth. So, as I mentioned, Preserving Freedom podcast, where we share the stories of the men and women who wore the uniform of this nation, stories of sacrifice, service, resilience, and the lives shaped by the oath to defend freedom. Every veteran carries a story. Some are about the mission, some are about the hardships, and some are about the people who walk beside us through it all. But today's episode is different. For the first time ever, as mentioned on this podcast, we are sitting down with a married couple. They came together. We'll see if they leave together. Two veterans whose past began in service to this country and later came together in life. We have Michelle White, served as an 89 Alpha Ammunition Supply Specialist, reaching the rank of specialist. Her work ensured that the lifeblood of military operations, ammunition, and was accounted for, secured, and ready when it mattered most. Kerry White began his career enlisted as an 89 Alpha Ammunition Supply Specialist, later serving as a 55 Bravo Ammunition Specialist, and eventually transitioning to 54 Bravo Chemical Operations Specialist, retiring after remarkable, Michelle, yours was just as remarkable, career as a Chief Warrant Officer 4. They do exist. They do exist, and we have proof right here. Together, their journey represents something powerful. Two individuals who served in critical roles, carried the weight of responsibility, and later built a life together grounded in shared experience, resilience, and understanding. Their story reminds us that the military doesn't just shape individuals, it shapes families, relationships, and lifelong bonds. Michelle and Kerry, thank you both for your service, and welcome to the Preserving Freedom podcast. Always great to see you again. How are y'all doing today?
Great.
Wonderful.
All right.
Well, thanks for having us.
It's an absolute honor. It really, truly is. As I promised you to, Michelle, now that everyone's going to be listening, admit how good your husband looks in your extensions. We got a picture popped up so you all can see.
I am very jealous that he looks much better than I did in those for our family photos.
It was, Kerry, I had to admit, I'm married, I have a wife, love her dearly. You look pretty good in your wife's hair extensions. So well done. Again, it was a tribute, I believe, to Ozzy Osbourne,
It was
right?
a tribute to Ozzy.
Yeah, with the
And
bush light.
quite honestly, that was my hairstyle back when I was a junior in high school before I joined the military.
Oh, I loved it. But dang, you look good. All right, you look good. Which of you is more likely to lose their military ID?
Me.
How many times has that happened to you?
Where it was lost and I had to replace it one time. Where it was lost and then found several. Mostly because I didn't used to use a wallet, because when I was in high school I had we'll just leave them an unnamed family member that would take my money and stuff out of my wallet. So I just decided not to use a wallet anymore, and I'm like, everything's good in my pocket. Good to go. And then we were out one day and our 2-year-old at the time, she found it and threw it away in a garbage can, because that was when she was going through the throwaway things. And I was looking for it, and she was like, Mom, I threw it away. All clean.
Oh,
So,
oops.
yep, definitely me.
Who's more likely to yell at ease when the house gets too loud?
Me. Sorry, it's all that leadership training you get,
When arguing at home, does it ever turn into rank versus rank?
Nah.
No.
She's the boss, so.
I mean, yeah, he can win the argument, but he's still going to sleep on the couch, so.
Smart man, Carrie,
Right,
that you mentioned she was the boss. If the Army called tomorrow and said they needed one of you back for a mission, who's going?
It's going to be me. I go back in a heartbeat.
Michelle, do you have would you want to go back?
That kind of comes and goes for me if
Yeah.
I would or not. It depends on the situation, I guess. But he's always been gung-ho to go back, so I'm like, oh, I'll hold down the fort back here, I guess.
Yeah. They both are very important jobs. So we're going to get into it. We thought we'd have some fun here. Again, trying to do everything I can so one has to drive or they both have to drive separate and get an Uber home. I'm just kidding. They will not. Their relationship is strong as hell. So very excited again to have them. For those listening today, we already introduced yourselves. Tell us a little bit about where you're both from.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
Oh, I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, born and raised down there. Moved here in 1986 when I was 16. Both my parents are drug addicts, so I wanted to get out of that environment. And came up here as my aunt lived here, so came up here, made some friends, went back to school, and graduated here. And that's when I joined the military, so decided to stay here.
If I may, with your parents, did you ever want to see what that lifestyle was like?
No, I was going down that path, though.
Okay.
I was going down that path, being in that environment, so I was like, I got to do something different here. I didn't want to be that way, so my aunt said, hey, come stay with me for the summer. And, okay, I'll get out for a little bit and see something different, and never wanted to go back. So
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
It obviously paid off.
It did, because when I was here, I started my junior year at Neenah High School here in Wisconsin.
Oh, Neenah Rocket.
Yeah, Neenah Rocket.
All right.
So I went there and then went on lunch break with a bunch of my friends. We came back and they had recruiters in the common areas. And I was like I said, I had hair down to here. And it's like, oh, I'm going to join the Army. No, you ain't going to do that. That day I talked to a recruiter. That night he was at my house.
Oh, wow.
Talked to me and my aunt. This is back in 86. And it's like, well, I can't really, she's your legal guardian, but if you really want to join, I'll get you. I was like, yeah, I want to join. I need a change. And
Were you 17 at the time?
yeah, I was 17.
Okay.
Yep, 17 at the time. He goes, well, our recruiting back then was so low. I mean, the people in the military is so low. It was an all-time high back in the 80s. He goes, well, one of your parents has got a sign. Well, my parents can't afford to get here.
Mm-hmm.
They flew me to Dallas, Texas. 3 days we spent there, me and my recruiter, so my mom could sign the papers in front of the recruiter. And I signed. Came back here, went to basic training between my senior year. Came back to my senior year, and then I went to AIT, to split trainee. So
the recruiter paid for your
I don't know
some
who
way
paid
somehow.
for it. They got me home. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not to dig into it on the legal side things, but I mean that's dedication right there.
Right.
I mean, that number's important. Man, wow. How did your parents feel?
They didn't really care.
Yeah.
My mom and dad was separated by that time.
Okay.
So it was just my mom, and my mom was like, well, "Go for it."
Yeah.
It's my mom. She knew I wanted out. I've been gone for 7-8 months already by then.
Yeah.
So.
Man, wow. Good for you. Good for you. A Neenah Rocket too.
Neenah Rocket.
All right.
Actually, the rocket in front of the Neenah High School, I was at 395th Ordnance Company. We went to Thule, Utah, and we brought that rocket home. One for the Flag Day Parade to have in the back of their truck, and the other one was for Neenah High School. So
That one right in the front there, now at the middle school.
Yep,
but
now the middle school.
really?
Yep.
Oh, I mean, yeah. We remember we had our big senior class picture in front of it. Like knowing now, 26 years or later,
right?
I know a guy that helped bring this.
Yep.
Man, crazy.
Did that make you feel old? 26
Yes.
years?
I know. I was kind of like, fine wine, Carrie.
There
Fine
you go.
wine. Carrie, a little bit about you. Michelle, sorry.
I'm like, yeah,
Jeez,
you
my
can
bad.
keep talking.
No, Michelle, your turn.
Well, my story's not quite as extravagant, but I was
That's all
born
right.
and raised in Oshkosh. I have a twin brother, and I have several other siblings, very supportive siblings. And
Northwest.
went to
is it-
Oshkosh North
No, okay.
and graduated from there. And I was working at the movie theater. Like, my dad had passed away my senior year of high school, and I graduated early because we were low income and really struggling. And so my boss at the time, he was a retired master sergeant, and he was letting me come in. He gave me a key to the theater and was letting me come in from 5 a.m. until 11:30 midnight. And he's like, I see you're working so hard, but you know, you could make a lot more money if you join the military. And I was like, I can't run. I'm not joining the military. Like, no.
Hey, I'm a warrant officer. I can't run either.
But after we had talked for a while, it's like I was doing the FAFSA and trying all this stuff to get into college, and he's like, they'll take care of your college and stuff too. And so he talked me into it. I went and talked to a recruiter, and it was like, went and did all the tests and all that, and they're like, yeah, because I wanted to go to be a nurse, and they're like, there's a 4-year wait list for that. So it's like, well, just give me something that's not going to put me on the front line. Yeah. So that was where my journey started with the military too.
Man, what a nice guy. So the manager at the movie theaters.
Yeah,
too bad they didn't have those reclining seats back then. Too bad, like you could have lived in that thing.
Yeah.
And it seems kind of like you. I don't want to say you did, but being there that early in the morning to that late at night.
Oh yeah.
Man, was your manager ever in the military?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was an acting first sergeant for our unit for, I can't remember what years, but when I joined that unit, he was like, "Oh, I've been there."
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Small world. I feel like I say this every episode. So you kind of mentioned what led you to join the military. Michelle, you had a manager that had some prior service.
Mm-hmm.
What was kind of that pushing factor that made you want to join?
Really, I feel like it was just like the college side of it at the time. But then once I had been talking to the recruiter and stuff, it was like, well, I did some of the like group stuff before we went, like where you go and meet up with other recruits, and I was like, I think I could probably do this. This seems like something I could make a lot of friends here and like branch out. I had never been out of Wisconsin before.
Yeah.
So when I got on that plane to go to South Carolina, it was the first time I ever was on a plane. And I'm on the plane with all these other scared people, so we're just trauma bonded, I guess. And it was like when I started that and made all these new friends, I was like, I can't believe I never did the like prior, because I was already 19. I'm like, I should have 2 years ago when the recruiter came been like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. Always easier after the fact.
Yeah.
Always is. Carrie, you mentioned obviously with your past with kind of the parents and what road you could have possibly went on, but factors for you as far as deciding to join the military.
Quite honestly, it was a dare. My buddies dared me when we came home for lunch. Like, you ain't going to join? I was like, yeah, I will. And I was the only one to join on my group. And I was like, let's do it. I said, I can do 6 years. That's easy. Join the reserves. That's no problem. And it's a job. I can make money. So, one, needed discipline. I knew I needed discipline. And two, the biggest thing was the dare. And I was going to take that challenge, and I took it.
You weren't going to lose that dare. Wow. I will have to say that's the first I ever heard for why you joined.
Honest truth. And all of a sudden, the 5-year mark comes up. Hey, you got a year left. You got to re-up and all this. Well, yeah, it's only 6 years. We're going to Germany next year for our AIT. All right, I'll re-up. I want to go see Germany.
Oh, well, a dare that paid off, I would have to say. So, man, Michelle, you served you both did, as an 89 Alpha ammunition supply specialist.
Mm-hmm.
I know you mentioned that you picked anything. You mentioned the nursing corps, I believe is what it is called. But then you said anything but, something that put you on the front lines. Were you happy with that selection did MEPS pick that for you, or did you pick that position?
They picked it they picked it, but they didn't really give me any other options. Okay. So it was like, we have this, but we don't have anything else. So do you want to do this? And I was like, okay. So, but I mean, I was happy with it, like pretty much learning clerical work and stuff. And I mean, once I got into the position and was doing it, I was like, wow, this is actually, it's nice, because what I was doing overseas was meeting a lot of people from a lot of different places all over the world. So it really paid off. Yeah.
Good for you. Carrie, so 89 Alpha, is the 55 Bravo, is that when you went the officer side?
No, what happened there is initially ordnance was 55 Bravo.
Okay.
And then transitioned, they changed it to 89 Bravo.
Okay.
And during that time, my secondary was 54 Bravo Chemical, NBC, Nuclear Biological Chemical. Well, then when I became a warrant officer after about 10, I was in about 11 years. Then I became an 890 Alpha, the officer side.
Okay.
So,
Are you, I don't want to say one of the weird ones for the NBC side of things. Are you the one that loves to go through the gas chamber nonstop?
Yep, that was it. So I was doing that, setting up
Michelle,
smokers.
man, does it affect you? I mean, does it affect you any? I don't want to say any more today, but if you kept doing it, like, did it bother you really at all? Or?
No, not so bad. But it ain't like you're doing it all the time. It's
Yeah.
just like, you get it, and of course you do more than the average soldier, just to get used to it. But now we'd handle chemicals where you'd wear your full mock gear, but then you throw another rubber suit on and another mask on, and you'd have to work at least 45 minutes at a crack in Alabama heat. So you'd have to take breaks every, 30, 40 minutes because you'd lose 10 pounds within a couple
I
hours.
bet.
So it was interesting. But, I only done it for my secondary to help for promotions
Okay.
and things like that. So I done it as my secondary and really never actually done the job in the field. So
Yeah. Man,
but it's
that's got to
interesting.
be
It was
hot.
very interesting just to learn all that.
Jenny Craig, look out. That's a new way of pulling the
Don't recommend
Arizona.
it.
You said Arizona, you said,
That
right?
was Alabama.
Or Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Carrie, what motivated you to keep growing and transitioning from the enlisted side to the warrant officer side?
Well, mainly when I decided to stay in, I was like, okay, done my second contract. Of course, there's some bonus money, trip to Germany. And, by the time that contract's done, I was going to be, 12 years in. Like, well, I might as well make it a career. I'm going to make it a career. My intent was I wanted to make first sergeant. So, but when I was deployed to Desert Shield, Desert Storm back in 90, had some really good warrant officers back then that were good leaders. I was an E4 back then. So, really good leaders, good mentors. And so all of a sudden I got to E6. I was E6 for a while. So I put my packet up for E7 and I put my packet up for a warrant officer. And all of a sudden, warrant officer came back 1 week prior to my E7 and was like, I'm going warrant. I had these good mentors and I want to do that. So, yeah.
And a decent retirement?
Oh, yeah. That kicked in a few months ago. So
Yeah.
It's nice.
Now I get it, Michelle. Now I get it. So for the ammunition and chemical operations, they are critical fields in the military. What are some experiences, or if you can, for us on the civilian side of things, explain what exactly do those roles entail?
Well, ammunition side is, we supplied all the, the bullets, missiles, whatever you want to call them, rockets, grenades, all kinds of rounds we would supply to all the using units. So in Bagram, we were the central location for all the ordnance in country. And I think we supplied like 3/4 of the country with ammunition. But we serviced all the units. You're the one talking to them daily, but what's all the units?
Like Korea, New Zealand, Poland, Canada, Germany.
You're supplying all those kind of. I don't think I knew. Wow.
Yeah.
I know we love to give a lot of stuff to other countries, but wow.
No, we were the central hub of all ammunition. So basically, it's big warehouse out in the middle of nowhere, fully protected, of course, because it's all our munitions. So my job there at that time for this deployment, I was the accountable officer, which basically is civilian terms is logistics manager, a warehouse manager, whatever you want to call it. Do the scheduling, making sure the inventory is correct, training, safety, all that. So warehouse manager, and your role would be basically CSR, customer service, dealing with all face-to-face with the units, doing the paperwork, documentation, and all that. So,
yeah. I would assume it'd be pretty easy. I don't want to say as a customer service job, but who's not happy buying big old rockets and missiles or not buying, but.
Oh, they're not happy when they don't get pulled right.
I'm sure there's aspects of the job, that you don't really think about.
But it was like when I was at E4, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, that was a whole different environment. I mean, I was at E4, so I was a forklift operator. We load and unload trucks. Just ammunition. So we'd have 100 trucks rolling a day. Loading and unloading. Most of them were nationals driving our ammunition from the ports out to where we were. And that base there is outside of KKMC, they called it. It was 60 square miles that we were protected. It was all ammunition out there. So it was like we'd just be loading trucks all day, all night. We ran 24/7. So it was busy. So
we are here with Carrie and Michelle White, the first on Preserving Freedom married couple. Carrie served in Desert Storm, Desert Shield. Michelle, do you remember were you born during Desert Storm, Desert Shield? I told you we're gonna have some fun with this a little bit. So it's kudos to both of you.
So Carrie showed me this picture of him when he first returned home from the war, and it was like a big welcome home photo, and it had the date on the bottom of it, and I was like, oh, I was 3 months old then. He's like, oh, don't do that to me.
Oh, man. Thank you for playing that. Appreciate it.
We're not bashful.
No. Both of you deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, stationed at Bagram. Carrie, you mentioned a little bit about Desert Storm, Desert Shield. Anything else you'd like to share with us regarding you? We don't get to talk to people who served in two different conflicts, or one conflict a lot of times as well, right, too. I guess what was, aside from what you mentioned, your job and everything, your mission over there, what else about, and maybe a little difference too with Operation Enduring Freedom compared to Desert Storm, Desert Shield? Like any big differences you realize from that time gap, those two conflicts?
Yeah, there's a lot of differences. Of course, when Desert Shield, Desert Storm happened, prior to that, I mean, quite honestly, our military was crap. I mean, we'd done a lot of hip pocket training. There wasn't no action. There was just not a lot of good training back then. And once that ramped up, it was scary. Next thing you know, we got 500,000 soldiers over there within a matter of months. And I remember I'm 20 years old flying in blackouts, and we land, and we flew on American Airlines with our rifles between our legs. And that's how we flew over, got off the plane, and it was just scary. I was 20 years old. And all of a sudden we stay in the towers for a couple weeks, and during that time, Kobar Towers got hit. So we're all freaking out there, throwing on gas masks, eating bromine pills, doing all that jazz. Finally, they get us out to where our location is, and of course, we're setting everything up. I mean, we're like the second company on ground. There's a company that beat us there by a few weeks. So there's two companies doing all this work there. And we slept in GP mediums the entire time. So you work all day, come home, half the time your tent's blown down, you got to set it back up. So then I went to Afghanistan in 07, 08. I was a CW2 then. So I was an accountable officer then.
Probably your own hotel room.
Yep. What hotel? We actually, I lived in a Connex. There were 2-story Connexes that we lived in, but at least it was hardened up and whatnot. Yeah. We had to fix tents, and by then I'm the older guy, and here I got all these young kids here that are scared, and I'm the one trying to mentor them. Like, be calm, stick together. Then, of course, 2 years later, almost 3 years later, then I've done my second tour in Afghanistan. By then, I'm the platoon leader out there, and again, the old guy. I'm the one, keeping everybody calm. Say, don't worry, So understanding where they're from.
We were pretty much in a bomb-proof barracks, and he was in a little wood hut. That one.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, there was our hardened barracks for all the soldiers, which is great for them. That's nice.
Yeah.
Here they had all our leadership teams in a wooden shack with a tin roof on it. We're getting mortared every night, and it was like gravel's flying off. Our thing was like, oh, we get hit, the whole entire leadership team's gone. What are they gonna do?
Wow.
Grunt work, Carrie. scary.
And actually, y'all's building got hit once.
It did.
Got hit once and didn't penetrate or nothing.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned Barmine pills or something?
Bromine.
Bromine?
Pills. They're like the nerve agent pills.
Oh, okay. All right.
So basically, you take them and like you're not supposed to take them until you're told to take them. But our leadership was so scared too. First time in combat, it was like we're all taking them. Basically, all it does is it speeds up your heartbeat to pump stuff through. So we're all there basically tweaking in our masks. It was crazy.
I'm surprised I haven't heard a radio ad. If you've been, if you've been taking these during this time,
Right.
oh man, wow. What do you arrive? So we're going to talk about arriving to Bagram Airfield. What do you two most remember about arriving there in theater?
We were actually just talking about this. The first thing that happened when we got there, when we were getting off the plane, they had just had a ramp ceremony for 14 military service members that passed away. And they were loading them all onto the plane as we were getting off the plane right next to them. I was like,
Yeah, you don't forget about that.
yeah, I was like, okay, this is real. We're really at war right now, and this is scary. So that was my first thoughts. But
Wow.
It was my third time. I was like, okay, everybody's counted for. Where's the chow hall? I'm hungry. I'm serious. That's my thought.
Yeah. I'm saying, as you mentioned, when you went to Desert Storm, Desert Shield, you kind of probably had similar reactions your first time there. And having that experience, obviously, it can be helpful.
It was scary. It was scary.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I knew, it's like I can be a help to these guys. It's like, you never realize when you go through basic training or any type of leadership school in the military, you got all these drill sergeants or TAC officers, like they got combat experience. You never really put those two together until all of a sudden you're there.
Yeah.
And so no, it was okay. Just make sure we get everybody situated safely and they know what the hell's going on and get everybody together and calm them down because we knew they were going to be scared. And I was at Bagram prior, so my first trip to Afghanistan, I was in Bagram. I just had Bagram. My second tour there with her, I had Bagram, oversaw Salerno was up in the mountains, and I oversaw Kabul, ammunition supply points. So, yeah, which is different thing is keep my soldiers calm. Let's get them focused.
Good for you. What, Michelle, I just would hit back again on that. When you got off the plane, when you both did, but that's what you remembered, you saw. What are you, aside again from the reality of where you're at, anything else that was running through your head at that moment? Like stepping off a plane, that's the first thing you see, and that's going to shake anybody up.
Yeah.
But anything else besides, yep, this is legit. This is where we're at. Did you have any other thoughts or emotions running through your head?
I mean, like looking around, you're completely surrounded by mountains. It feels like you're almost in a mountainous prison.
Yeah.
As you will. I don't know how else to put it, but it was just like, okay, I'm here. There's nowhere to go. I'm here now. But then it was like seeing other people that have been there before and stuff and how excited they were. Like one of the guys, he was saying it was his third time back, and he's like, I can't wait to show you guys all these different places. Like we got a Green Beans, we got a Pizza Hut. I'm like, I bet it's not what you think though. And like all this different stuff, like Subway and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, well they have some stuff here. I can relax a little bit. So having other people there that had already been there and to that exact place helped.
Yeah, I bet.
So it was like a good 10 minutes of fear as we were unloading, and then it was like, okay, these guys got me, we're good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that camaraderie, it's unmatchable. It's hard to beat that.
Right.
For those that have never been, share with us, Michelle, you mentioned a little bit, like it's beautiful, especially flying into it. You're seeing the snow-capped mountains and everything, but once you get on land, reality kind of hits. But share with us what Bagram Airfield was like. I
mean, the year that we went, they told us it was the first year in 25 years that they had more snow than Wisconsin had. You guys brought it. So it was like we weren't allowed to put the cleats on our boots. Only special forces were allowed to do that, and we had to walk. I tell my daughter I had to walk 2 miles uphill to work on the ice with no cleats on my boots. So it was like that, but as far as the weather, but I mean, like right now, Wisconsin probably has as many potholes as they have on that case. And they would just have the local nationals fill them in with a little bit of pea gravel every now and then. But otherwise, the bazaars were really nice. The downtown area was called Disney. And I brought home so many knockoff blankets and purses.
Find on the black market. Tell everybody.
No, then he had it the one day we all went to the bazaar as like a big group trip, and this guy, he was telling me like, "You're so beautiful. I get the most beautiful girl in Afghanistan. Good deal. I give you 3 cashmere scarves for $20. And I was like, deal. And then he came up with 10 of them for $20.
I must be more beautiful.
You're sitting here like, I heard the same thing.
He's like, I must be more beautiful.
Did you have hair extensions in?
No. I'm just a beggar. I've been there before.
So, Carrie, if you want to tell if you remember, I know you do, your first time arriving at Bagram, what was your, what has changed since your first time there to the second time?
Well, it improved a lot from 07, 08 to then, because, almost 3 years. But I don't know, all the facilities were a lot better, a lot more secure. They expanded, I think, a little bit more there. A lot more improvements to all the infrastructure. The ASP actually grown by almost like 20%. So it was a lot bigger, better equipment. So that was nice.
Did you explain what the ASP stands
for? Ammunition Supply Point, I'm sorry.
No, good catch, Misha. Thank you.
Ammunition Supply Point, our outdoor warehouse. So yeah, the facilities are a lot better. There was a lot more troops there too. So, and a lot more different nationalities. So, like she mentioned, the Dutch, New Zealand. I don't think they were there my first time there, but no. So it was a lot more upgraded.
Yeah.
In fact, when I was there, being I was the platoon leader / accountable officer, but I was mentoring a junior warrant officer. He was a CW2, mentoring him, and had a 3-star general roll in with his entourage and a full bird colonel from the 181 that we fell underneath. Come tour the site and all this and that, and they're wanting to pump in. He had to go back to Congress to get $64 million to improve upon our ammunition supply point. And I told this colonel 2 weeks prior, I don't need $64 million. Give me $32 million. We can do what we need to do. We're supposed to be out of here in 2 years, right? Because that's all we're being told. But so anyway, he goes, no, we need that $64 million. And I said, no, I can get it done with this because I was part of all the planning of that. And General asked me straight up as we're giving him a tour in the bus, I was like, Chief, what do you need? I said, $32 million. You should have seen the death stare I got from that full bird colonel. Oh, yeah, it was bad. He didn't call me to reprimand me or nothing, but guess what? We got $32 million.
Oh, man.
So I didn't care. It's my last trip.
Yeah.
I was planning on retiring as soon as I got home. So
I wonder what plans the colonel had.
I don't know.
Who knows? Officers. I love you. I love you, officers. Fortunately for the both of you, it sounded like, being in the military, a lot of times in general, the military will send us and tell us what we're going to do. Sometimes, usually, or I think often, if it's fair to say, outside of our original MOS, it sounds like both of you got to actually do your MOS while you're deployed, correct?
Right. Yep. I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about in Desert Storm? Weren't you kind of doing more of a cleanup?
No. Desert Storm, I'm loading and unloading trucks. I was doing my actual MOS. So pretty much all 3 of my tours I've done my MOS. So
And I had to, going back a little bit, you mentioned the Nationals, but they moved a lot of your ammo and what
Yeah,
you
back
said.
in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, they did. So all the ammunition, majority of it come in through the ports,
Okay.
which is about an 8-hour drive from where we were at. So a lot of the trucking was done by the local Nationals and their semis.
Were they escorted at all with military?
No.
That's why I'm like, I want to hit on this again, but
It was crazy. At least from not what I seen. I was inside the wire, of
Yeah.
course, but we come out and you look at the yard. Because our perimeter, like I said, was 60 square miles. But we had entry point, exit point, all in one area. And that's the truck staging area, and we'd have over 50 trucks there at all times. And them just sleeping and waiting for us because we don't let somebody in at a time. Because once they cross the wire, they were escorted with us until we got them unloaded and back outside the wire. As far as it coming from the port to there, I couldn't tell you if they were escorted or not. I was 20 years old. I didn't care.
Above our pay grade. What were some of the biggest challenges that you each faced while deployed?
I think my biggest thing was like, so the 89 Bravo side of the job was all we did in our mobilization. So everybody was on forklifts, practicing loading and unloading and netting and all that stuff. But I was an 89 Alpha. My side was doing the computer work. There was no way to prepare for that. So I went to basic training and I was in my AIT and so like my job schooling, and I wasn't even done with it. I was only 3 weeks in and I got a call that was like, hey, this was in December. They're like, just so you know, I can't give you too many details, but in a month that starts with J, you're going to be going to a mountainous terrain. And I was like, this a joke? It's like, I'm not even out of my schooling yet. I'm not going anywhere. And they're like, no, you are. And it's like, oh, okay. So I got off the phone. I had no idea if I was going next month or in July, where I was going to. So I got out of my schooling and came to my unit and then never practiced my job ever again until we were boots on ground in August. And then they're like, okay, do your job. And I was like, I don't remember how to log in.
I lost my cat card.
He said it. Wow.
So that was the initial challenge. I mean, that was the biggest challenge for me. It's like, I have to, okay, let me just quick remember how to learn my job while everybody else had months and months of training to prepare. So
And the leaving unit, because you're basically replacing units that are there. People don't know how that works. So you're basically with them. It could be 3 days or it could be 3 weeks, but it's typically a short amount of time because they ain't got space for everybody.
Yeah.
Nothing. How much time we spend with the unit we replaced?
about two-ish weeks that they're hopping around helping people.
So about 2 weeks, we got some cross training, but you're only going to learn so much. One, especially the junior personnel, like getting over their fears of being in country, and two, get situated, and then also for her coming and joining a brand new unit that she's never even met anybody there other than maybe a few folks. It's so. But by the time we left there, what'd you do for that position?
I created a whole manual, step by step.
They're
You're not-
outstanding.
You're gonna know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
And I was like, show me, just open this and show me that you know, just by reading this, that you know what to do. And I made them do that, and I'd answer questions, but I was like, read the manual, show me that you can do this without me here. And that's what they did.
You should have sold that.
Right?
Patent it or
Right?
something.
Yeah, right.
Something.
So I can't imagine putting a field manual together.
Right.
But I mean, that you had to grow up quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, man. I'm trying to. I'm speechless. I'll admit it. Like you come back from AIT, like
Yeah.
for example, we had soldiers got back this last week. There's 11 of them actually, 10 of them. One of them had to ask his buddy what his cell phone number was, And I'm like, oh dear.
Oh no.
I'm not going to say any names. 11 Bravo. All right, that's all I'll say. I'm sure he'll do great things. But I mean, you're still learning, you're still new, you're still fresh, and to be put in that situation right away, like that's big boots to fill. And here you leave them with a boom. Here's your field manual. This is how it's going to go.
Right.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. All right, I'm just still, wow. Was there someone during deployment who had a major impact on you or shaped? Now, again, there was no fraternization. All right, this is all after the military for everyone that's watching.
Right.
Okay. And if it is, but you know what I was going to ask, who had a big impact on you. Michelle, I think you're ready to point to someone.
Well, the biggest thing over there, they offer free college. And we had 70 something people that were offered this free college. And we were the only two that took advantage of that.
Wow.
So we were together often. So that was where our friendship started.
Like 70 for your company or like
our company went over about 130, but we split up different groups. So
so
group
we had
with the Kandahar, Salerno, and Kabul.
Okay.
But there was about 60 to 70 of us right there in Bagram.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was a safety officer too, on top of one of my additional duties. And first week, giving safety briefs, like, guys, this college here is through Mount Scenario College. You really got actual college professors here. Yeah, you're working 12, 13 hours a day, but what else you gonna do? Go back to your room and play video games? Go take advantage of it. It doesn't come off your tuition assistance or none of your benefits. It's a take it.
Mm-hmm.
So we started doing that after work. We'd work 11, 12 hours a day, and we go to college, 3, 4 days?
Hours. Yeah.
3, 4 days a week, 3 hours at a crack, And what'd you end up leaving there with college
26 credits. And you got an associate's degree. So we
Two
went.
deployments, got my associate's degrees,
They even had a college graduation form and stuff. I have a picture of us at his college graduation.
If you can remember to send that,
I can.
I want to show our listeners that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh.
Yeah. So
another one. I'm just baffled. 2 people. I get it. Like, it's important to have you time. When you're over there and you got to do your thing. But you mention it. A lot of times that you're just when you're back on whatever the mission may be. Like, you go eat chow, go work out, and you sit in your chew or your barracks or whatever. And good for you.
Yeah.
Associates in 26. Dang, that's a lot of schooling in 9-10 months for on top of a full-time job. So it's just to show it can be done. It can be done. Carrie.
Yes.
No pressure. All right, because she pointed kind of, or Michelle, I don't know. Were you finished with as far as the individual had the impact on you? Kind of your time to.
No, you had those stories that grew up on too when you had some issues over there.
Oh yeah, well.
If you want to share that, you don't have to share that though.
Yeah, I had while we were over there, I had probably about 5 or 6 family members and friends pass away. They're not immediate family. I can't go home. So I was really struggling, like, mental health wise with all that stuff. And he was one of the only people, like, I reached out to several people, and he was the only person that was there listening to me and was like, I understand. And he actually helped me go to combat stress when I needed it. And he was the one that took me when we got home and I was really struggling with my mental health. He was the one that helped me get help. And actually he came and picked me up. I was like, we're going to go to the hospital. And as soon as he said that to me, I tried to jump out of his car on the highway.
Really?
And he was like, nope, I'm not giving up on you. And he took me to the hospital. And that was when we started talking again after we were home. So he saved my life literally. So I really appreciate this.
Yeah. Man. You're a good man, Carrie.
Yes, he is.
I love you both. But I'm just, this isn't a competition by any means, but it's just, individuals.
You're doing this with one person, not two.
Yeah. Yeah. To, kind of put the money where, put your money where your mouth is and follow through with that action. That's remarkable.
Mhm.
That's absolutely remarkable. And here you are together sharing that story, and like that's, oh, I love it. All right, Carrie, Michelle talked you up a little bit here. No pressure. But as far as the individual had an impact on you, and maybe it was Desert Storm, Desert Shield. I'd recommend probably not seeing another lady because your wife's here. But someone that you remember that had a big impact on you.
Well, a couple of them, I believe, like I said, Fred Cozzola, I'll mention him out. He's a retired CW5. He was one of my first mentors. Great guy. We try to stay in touch every so often. We get together. But also when I was at Fort McCoy, I was a company commander between '08 and 2011. When I came home from my first deployment, I got asked to be a company commander at Fort McCoy to train mobilizing soldiers. So I was like, yeah, economy's crashing in '08 and whatnot. So one of my really good friends, he passed away a little over a year ago, Jeff McGlynn, who's a retired command sergeant major. But he knew me since, I was a punk, private. And be times my first year there, I didn't know if I was going to make it a year in the military, but he was an E5 at the time, and his buddy Don Polo was an E5. Would come and drive over to Nina and pick my ass up because I'm passed out and not coming to drills. I know you're getting a drill. So they drive me to drill, kept me in, and beat some sense into me over the years. So he was a huge impact in my life. Rest his soul. But great guy, great family. Then I was at McCoy's when I came home from my first trip in Afghanistan. He goes, hey, we got this company commander position. He's been there for like 3-4 years already. He was the battalion command sergeant major for, it fell under the 1st Army. We were at the 181 Infantry Brigade. He goes, I got this position here if you want it. I said, well, what is it? He goes, well, it's commander for the Op 4 company. I said, really? Yeah, I called my company up here. Like, hey, can I go do this orders for a year? I know I've been gone for a year. Yeah, it's slow right now. Go for it. So they put me on a 1-year COEDAS orders, which is, orders, basically like you're mobilized. So became company commander there. So I met my first sergeant. Basically, our company was comprised of, I was company commander from the Army Reserves. My first sergeant, he just came on board because the other two were moving out. He was National Guard artillery. Sam Howard, awesome guy. We built a strong team there. We had 60 soldiers, a mix of National Guard and Army Reservists that had to have been deployed at least once. They were just freshly home, and we were the opposing forces. That's what Op 4 stands for. And that was the sweetest gig ever, So me and Sam, he was a good mentor to me as well. As a first sergeant, I'm a CW3. Yeah. I think we helped each other out. So he was a big impact in my life. So that was a cool gig.
Very good. I don't think I've ever heard anyone turn down an Op 4 opportunity.
Oh, heck no. I think I wore because I'd done my first year of orders, and all of a sudden, hey, 10 months, is it, you want to do another year? Sure. So I'd done another year, and then 10 months into that is when I got the call to go with this group of yahoos. So yeah, about a year and 10 months, I was Op 4 company commander. The biggest challenge there was keeping all these young kids in line, coming home and wanting to, you're crazy. But out of that time, I probably wore my ACUs at the time, probably 10, 12 times. Oh, man. Rest is either tiger stripes or any type of other garb, So that was cool. Yeah.
Coming back home after, deployment, how long was your deployment in Desert Storm, Desert Shield?
We got mobilized in August doing desert training at Fort McCoy in the middle of winter. And we landed in country.
Desert training at Fort
Desert training.
I'm just making sure, right? If you try and make sense of the military, it's going to bother you. So I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
So snowstorms and all that back then. But yeah, back then we had to load up all our own gear stuff. We loaded up all our trucks, all our equipment onto the railhead. So we could take it down to the ports and load it all up there. So that was interesting. So yeah, basically end of August, and then until November, then we got to come home for about a week. And January 7th, we landed in country in 1990, and we came home August 13th. that year. So it was a little over a year we were mobilized all together. So,
And it's very similar with your Afghanistan deployments, about a year.
Yep.
Mhm.
Being gone, did you get leave when you were over there together?
yes.
Okay. Did you get it at the 14 or 15 days? Did you get 4-day how long of a leave did you get?
We got stuck in Kuwait for what, 5 days?
I think
were
it
not
always
supposed
happens.
to be there
Yeah.
that long. And I only brought one uniform with me because I was like, we're only gonna be there one night. I'm packing light, and then we were there for like I can't remember, 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, I think, a 15-day leave. I think
Okay.
it was.
We
I don't know,
were
that's-
gone over 21.
Yeah, we were gone almost 21 days.
Yeah.
Being stuck in Kuwait, and then when we came home, there was a big snowstorm, so all the flights out of Atlanta was canceled. So we were
Mhm.
stuck in Atlanta for like 2 days before we got on the plane back.
Oh, that was funny too because that was like right over holiday block leave for kids in basic training. So we were up hanging out. We're in their little circle area by the USO and stuff. And they're all like, Chief, Chief, Chief.
We've all been there before, you know.
funny.
Yeah, when you see that big rain coming, I forgot something back there. So, but if you can, what are you feeling coming back home? What's the feeling, emotions like being away for that long and coming back to the free world?
I mean, he had a totally different experience than I did because I came home and I thought I was fine. It's like we did the big welcome home ceremony. Actually, he wasn't at our welcome home ceremony. He got stuck in Fort Hood.
Yeah, got stuck in Fort Hood medical stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we did. It was like the welcome home ceremony, and I mean, after the ceremony was over, that was when it really hit. And like, I was staying at my mom's house, and my twin brother, he wasn't living there at the time, but he was out with his friends for whatever. It was like a couple nights after we were home, and middle of July, so nice outside. So we had the kitchen window open, and he forgot a key for my mom's house, and it's the middle of the night. He was reaching, like I heard the screen fall off the window. So I got up and I came out to the kitchen, and there's an arm reaching through the window for the doorknob. And the only thing that was on our kitchen table for whatever reason was a socket wrench. And I grabbed his arm backwards. And I'm like, tell me who you are. I'm going to beat you with this wrench. And he's like, it's your brother. And after that, because when we were overseas, like where my barracks was, it was the first room that the local nationals could come into. And so they would break into our room all the time. I say all the time, but several times. And if you were in there by chance, they'd be like, oh, we're here to fix the internet. And we're like, no, you're not. And so I really didn't think that would bother me because we'd all talk about it and laugh about it at the time. And then after that night, I kept thinking people were breaking in all the time. And that was what kind of started my downhill spiral to where we were at that day that he took me to the hospital. So my experience coming home was a lot different than his.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, though.
It's a lot easier
Yeah, I
to
can't-
talk about now.
Yeah. I can't imagine seeing a hand in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And then, fortunately, in the end, it being your brother.
Yeah.
So, what a socket wrench, though. At least there's something that
Right.
could have done some damage. Carrie, how about you? Those maybe going back to your first one,
Right.
homecoming is, I don't want to say always, especially with what you just mentioned, Michelle, but usually it's a pretty good feeling usually.
Right. Yeah, my first one, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, pretty similar. Excited to be home, excited to see the family, relieved that, hey, I survived this. And honestly, the first Afghanistan was the same feeling. It was like, hey, we made it, total different wars, total different time gap in between there. It's like, Third one was like, all right, get everybody home here. We're good. We're just home. Let's see when the next one's coming.
Yeah.
So, a lot different from those different stages that you go, but it's always just, hey, we made it, and a sense of accomplishment, and trying to stay in touch with the folks that you serve with over there.
Yeah. Appreciate you both sharing that. Yeah, absolutely. Looking back on your time in uniform, what moments made you the proudest?
Getting my soldiers home was mine, as an officer. So being able to lead a successful mission. Then when we left Afghanistan, when I was the accountable there, we had $3,000 worth of lost ammunition, lost inventory. That was all small arms, less than 0.5% out of $350 million of ammunition we shipped. So inventory accuracy there is great. Sense of accomplishment, training these soldiers from being kids to being men and women. I mean, most of them are kids. I'm looking at them and, oh my gosh, I'm going to make this. But I know I made it.
Yeah.
So work with them, train them, and they were hopefully better people coming out of there.
Oh, 350 million?
Yeah.
That's quite the, I know you have your NCOER and your OER.
OER.
Is it W? What's for warrant officer? Warrant officer evaluation?
No, it's still an OER.
Is it an OER? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, I got all top
50
reviews for that.
million.
That's the least they've ever lost in 10 years.
Good gosh. It's probably because of you didn't know it at the time, but later on, your wife's manual that she built,
It was.
that you only lost that little bit of.
We think she built over. What else she built over that was awesome? For the inventory.
Yeah, it was like an Excel spreadsheet of all the connexes. And I would go out there every single day and check the inventory, and then I'd send out a report every day. So I was walking like over 5 miles a day just doing that and keeping that updated. But when that general came through, he coined me for it. So that was a big, and it was not even just like, hey, here's the coin. They had a huge ceremony and called me up there, and I was not expecting that. And I was like, me? Did they say my name? I was like,
awesome.
She got a 3-star coin.
Yeah.
Girl.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Yeah.
But no, I think that really helped a lot too. I mean, basically a planograph of everything. She had everything mapped out. I look at my numbers, like, all right, send some soldiers down the range, go inventory this. Something's off here. But she created all that.
Yeah. It's funny for this reason that you mentioned this, because I kid you not, just a couple hours ago, I had a conversation with my boss. The battalion that I'm with, they're overseas right now, and we're talking retention things. And she says officers love spreadsheets. And you said that, and I can see kind of the getting this from you as well because of the impact those spreadsheets had. I'm like, my boss, as always, is telling the truth, but she's awesome. It's just, I had to share that because I'm like, this is meant to be. Who was, do you remember the general's name?
Jack Stoltz.
Okay. Yeah. Did he do a good job creating the coin? I'm sure you probably had a junior list or something.
I could take a picture of it and send it to you.
All right, send it. Let's show that if you
Yeah.
don't mind.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. What parts of military service never really leaves you?
For me, I think it's integrity. It's just doing the right thing when no one's looking. So I've always been that way. I always expect that of people around me. Just do the right thing when nobody's looking. But it's also the faith you have in your comrades. It's hard to put in words, but it's like I trust people around me. If they've been through service with me, deploying me, I have full faith in them. So trusting others that's been with me.
Yeah.
So.
And I know that's true because of what you shared, Michelle, and the fact being the lifesaver, however you want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good man. Mm-hmm. Again, no competition. Both are great. All right, but outstanding. That's awesome. Michelle, how about you? What never really leaves you from the service?
I mean, I would like to say that it's like drill and ceremony and whatever, but that's not true because I definitely couldn't whip my AR-15 around like an M16 and be like, look at this. But I feel like a lot of it just is discipline. And like, I'd like to say that the timeliness part of the discipline stuck with me as well, but not as much as it used to now that I have a daughter. But I mean, just work discipline and not letting your folks down wherever you are, work, home, school, doing whatever you're doing. that's just something that's always stuck with me.
Yeah. Accountability.
Yeah,
You know, I
definitely,
think
definitely.
I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see it.
No, she holds me accountable all the time. Stop.
So who's waiting? Now we're gonna test this. Who's waiting on who? You got a party or you got a night out. Who's waiting on who to leave?
You know what? We don't really wait on.
Depends if you have your extensions to put in or
Yeah,
not,
if I
right?
have my
Yeah, right.
extensions,
He's got his
Yeah, pretty much. I'll just remind her on the time frame every so often.
Oh,
All right,
yeah,
we got
like,
40 minutes. We got 40 minutes. We got
But what if it's like we have to drop our daughter off somewhere and I have to pack an overnight bag? He's still doing that, but he's also not helping pack the bag or do any of that stuff. I'm like, you're giving me a short timeline.
You know what she likes. Come on now.
The truth is coming out.
Now you're gonna be walking.
Oh. Freedom is something most Americans experience. We're so fortunate to every day, but I think rarely think about. Having worn the uniform and served in a combat theater, what does freedom mean to the both of you?
To me, it's being able to do what I want to do, without repercussions. Hopefully, the freedom there for my children, my grandchildren, and just hopefully making it a better society and country for my children and grandchildren. So just being able to go vote, I mean, it's just being able to go to the grocery store and buy stuff whenever I want. That's what it means to me. And listen to people that don't have my beliefs, that's fine. I don't have to listen to them, so if they don't like my beliefs, then don't listen to me. That's freedom.
Love it. Very good. Michelle, what does freedom mean for you?
I mean, basically the same thing, but like to add on to that, like living fearlessly. Like, I don't have to be afraid to do those things because I know there's people over there kicking ass still over there and here still not having holidays, not getting to spend time with their family, and they're keeping me here today where I can get up in the morning and be like, oh, the worst thing I have to do today is go to the dentist or whatever I have to do because I don't have to be afraid to get up out of bed and do what I want to do. And that's what it means to me.
Yeah.
I mean, as well as all that.
No, absolutely. It's your answer. It's well said, both of you. Very well said. Yep. Shout out to those that, kind of have taken on that charge, wearing the uniform. Those that are, maybe at basic training, AIT. Got to give a shout out to the 127th Battalion from good old Wisconsin here. Hope to see you all home soon, shortly here. So as Michelle mentioned, keep kicking some ass. So we support the hell out of all of you, love you all, and definitely we'll see you all when you get home. So, Carrie, what took you so long to pop the question? Or Michelle, did you wait too long that you asked?
I'll let her answer
I
that.
feel like actually it didn't take him long once it was like, so we're like a couple, right? And then it I don't even think it took a year, but at the time he had this whole elaborate thing planned out where he was going to take us to this nice dinner and like his family's obviously in Texas, but my family, we were all going to go out to this nice steak dinner and he was going to pop the question and all this. But we went out to a Packer game the night before, not like actually to Lambeau, but we were watching the Packer game.
I'm not a Pack fan, by the way, but I went for her.
Yeah, he's Cowboys true and true.
Dallas Cowboys, here we go.
All right, we're done.
Here we had met some other military members, and then the night just slipped away. And then the next day I was like, I can't go to a steakhouse today. I really can't. He's like, can you at least get bar food? It's like, I think I can manage that. So we popped the question in this overcrowded bar with this birthday party of girls screaming behind us. I was like,
I had your family lined up already.
He's like, well, what'd you say? Something about it was well thought out or something like that. It's a thought that counts.
Did you feel bad when he explained his original thought? Oh, man.
I was like, That's what you were doing?
Yeah, it wasn't so long as that. We got home in 2012, so we got married in 2014. So
Yeah, we weren't even dating for like a year, I don't think.
Yeah. No, you didn't take too long. I was just busting your chops on that one, Carrie. So, man, that would have been a good steak, though.
Right? I was looking forward to it.
It's the young ones,
Right?
Carrie, right? That
Right.
cannot be guilty too. So,
Game.
yeah, we've all been there before. How has your military background shaped your marriage? Or has it not helped at all?
I don't know. I think the biggest thing is that we understand each other when we're going through situations like what he was saying, like his friend passed away, and we've actually had several military funerals that we've had to be to recently,
Mm-hmm.
and just having the military bearing and stuff at those, doing the final salute and that stuff, and like understanding each other and being there for each other. That's kind of like a military bearing that we both keep with each other. So there's that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good test. Now, again, they were not married. There was no fraternization. Anyone that's listening, all right? But, looking back on it, that you two were meant to be. Obviously, you are. You served together for a year, and at times can be the worst conditions, than most places. Like, that's a pretty big test,
Right?
for you to both get
Right.
through.
And when I got home, it was like, all of a sudden, didn't see her every day. She was in the office, I was in my office, and it was like, all of a sudden we weren't going to school. I wonder what she's up to. Reached out to her one day and, hey, you want to go grab some dinner or something? I don't know how she took that or anyway, but.
He was asking me how because when we got home, I was all gung-ho to keep going to college at UW Oshkosh. And he was like, so how's schooling going? I was going to ROTC. And he was like, how's that all going? I'm like, I dropped out. I dropped out of everything. Well, what are you up to? I'm sitting at my house. Quit my job and everything. I isolated myself. And he's like, I think I should come pick you up.
Yeah.
I was like, is that a date?
It's meant to be. Absolutely.
No, that's cool. So we got her some help,
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
For you, like, being probably the huge role in that and getting her there, and for you doing it.
Yeah.
Those are big steps by both of you that unfortunately many won't take or are too afraid, whatever the situation may be. And it's incredible. Speaks volumes, both of you.
Almost 14 years she's dealing with me, so something's doing right.
And the retirement paycheck just hit too. So if you could go back and talk to your younger selves when you were your younger self when you first enlisted, what advice would you give to yourself?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I'd change anything. My career path was great. I think I probably would have applied myself more when I was younger, but I thought I progressed great and I had good mentors. So my younger self would be just, if I early on applied myself more. Because I achieved everything I wanted. I joined all the classes, A knock, B knock, all those. I've done them all, and done a lot of courses through the military. So I wouldn't change a thing. I don't know about her, but.
I mean, between basic and being overseas, there wasn't a whole lot of time to
transition time, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like for the biggest part about being overseas, I would tell myself, speak up more, because there was a lot of situations and scenarios that I was put into that I just felt like I can't say anything, or I'm going to say the wrong thing, or I did say the wrong thing. And
did you feel that way because of being junior enlisted, or was it being a woman?
I mean, a little bit of both. There was definitely, like, I don't want to get into it because that'd be bringing people into this that definitely
all good.
Don't
Your story.
Named, but definitely situations where I'm a junior enlisted female and you just need to zip it right now, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So I would tell myself, no, what you need to say needs to be said.
Yeah.
Because it would have really changed the course of a couple months for me while we were overseas.
Do you have a hard time now speaking up? Carrie?
Not so much because, like,
Not to me. Maybe to her mom.
yeah.
Don't
But
leave my mom out of it. I'm not-
Right.
no.
at first it was really hard, but like through the Veteran Center and the VA and group counseling, and then like our Missions of Honor group, they've really helped me branch out and become an advocate for myself. And if I don't feel like I'm able to, I have so many people that I can talk to now and like, what's your advice?
Yeah.
And so I don't feel like I have to put myself out and not say stuff.
Good for you. Yeah, we've got a big family, don't we?
We do.
Right.
Yep. All servicemen, don't forget that. You know. Let's see, the Freedom to Liberty retreat. So you mentioned that Missions of Honor. I got to do their plug. No, I don't got to. I have to because I want to.
Well, exactly.
So Freedom to Liberty retreat, I had the tremendous honor and pleasure going with Carrie and Michelle here last year, 2025. Yes, 2026. Oh, man. Our third year at that time doing it. So we have number 4 and 5 coming up this year. You were both randomly selected for 2025 retreat to New York City with the Freedom to Liberty retreat. Share with us your experience.
You want to go first?
Sure. I thought it was amazing. Oh my goodness. First off, we had our first meet and greet and kind of go over things with the flight that was going to go. I ran into probably a good 15 soldiers that I served
Oh,
with.
really?
Yeah. So, and from that unit, there's probably 20 of them from that unit. So, of course, I didn't know them. I've been out since 2013. But so it was really awesome meeting up with those folks. But just the experience of going over there and spending that time with other people that are in the military that I haven't met before, and just going through similar things. Going through our own struggles, and then the people that were there that talked to us, and we got to meet and listen to their stories, Will Jimena and all that. It's just amazing. It isn't just the soldiers, sailors, airmen out there. We got the firefighters and the police out there, EMTs that are just going through similar things back home. So it was eye opening. It was really cool. So.
Michelle, how about your experience?
Well, and I thought it was awesome, like from just being selected to being on the plane to going there. I have no idea how the whole staff made it so different but the same for each individual person. Like it was personalized and catered specifically to you. Like I want to ruin it too much for the people that are going to be going on it, but it's like they put a lot of thought into every single person that was on that flight, not just as a whole, like every single person. And so just from the start of that flight, and then it's like you go to all the different places and hear all the different stories, and like I know I was like a fangirl of several places that we went to, like, can you sign this for me? And then,
It's not hard to do.
Right.
Yeah.
and then like going through the memorials and stuff, that was really rough, but it was really eye-opening too. Like when we were overseas, we were there for September 11th, 2011. And that was one of the first times I ever really felt scared there, because they had us on lockdown because they were like, oh, what would you say? I don't want to say anniversary, better lack for word.
Right.
But they're like, it's 10 years.
Yeah.
We don't know what they're going to do. And that was the day that our building did get hit, but the mortar that they launched at us didn't go off, and it landed. I was watching EOD taking it apart right outside my window. I'm like, if that would have went off, I'd probably be dead. And so that was really scary. And then like going back through and like looking at all this stuff and like remembering why we were there and why we were doing it. Because I think a lot of people, now that it's been 26 years, kind of lose sight of why we're still overseas and doing that stuff. And it's a really good reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least it was to me.
Yeah. Yep. No, very well said by the both of you. And I have to add, yes, they were from Gold Squad as well.
Yes, we
So-
were.
We were.
The best
It was an
squad
absolute,
ever.
yeah. It's so, an absolute honor. We had the whole group, everybody,
Yeah.
you know, but it's just how well everyone clicked.
Yeah.
I think it truly a big part of what made that trip.
Mhm.
So again, GWAT veterans, keep your eye out. Missions of Honor here in Northeast Wisconsin. We opened it up statewide this year. Application process is closed, but we're continuing to grow and build. So keep your eye out for next year, which leads me into for GWAT veterans that have not signed up for a Freedom to Liberty retreat, maybe a little hesitant. What would you want to say to them?
I would say do it. I mean, you won't regret it. One, you may reconnect with some former friends. Otherwise, you're gonna meet new ones. You know, it was a great experience for me. I mean, you're gonna meet other people that are similar to you. You're gonna meet some amazing people there. The staff with the honor flight is just amazing. You won't leave there hungry, trust me on that. But no, it's just well worth it. You know, well worth it. So I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Michelle, anything to add?
You pretty much hit the nail on the head, but yeah, I was hesitant too at first, and then actually I was selected before him. He wasn't even selected, but somebody
Yep.
had backed
Yeah,
out.
I remember this situation. Yep.
And I was like, you had so much more military experience than me, and you went here and did this and that. I was like, I don't deserve to be going there. And he's like, don't you say that. You're going. So don't hesitate.
Mhm.
Just do it,
Right?
because you won't regret it at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Outstanding. You have the entire military in front of you. With your experiences, any advice you'd want to share with them? More so like the new ones, all right? Fresh out of basic AIT, hopefully not going overseas on a deployment right away after, but maybe they will. But anything that you've learned from your military experience, your background, that you would want to, any advice you'd want to give to future service members or maybe those junior service members?
Mine would be is just build that camaraderie. You know, treat people the way you want to be treated. You know, it's all one team, one goal. We're there for one reason: take care of each other and take care of our country. So I think there's too many times some people lose sight of that, and then you start getting your little cliques going on, and you got to support one another. Build those relationships. They're lifelong relationships. So. Try to stay in touch. I know we always say, "Hey, we're going to stay in touch. We're going to stay in touch," and then life hits you, and you start growing apart. But just educate yourself. Take advantage of the schools and the college and the courses that are out there to help grow you as a person, prepare you for civilian life.
Yeah.
So,
Very good. Michelle, you have the microphone.
no, like, why did you
You-
say everything I wanted to say? I should have went first.
You have a great answer as well.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, like, to add on to what he was saying, like, if you see something, say something, because that was a big issue for us where people weren't. So, all that and see something, say something.
Yeah. Maybe speak up, maybe at
Yeah.
times. Yeah. If appropriate at the right.
Yeah,
well,
I'm sure it can go backwards
respectfully.
respectfully. Yeah. I'm sure there's time where it's, should have put foot in mouth before, right? We've all been there. We've all done
and
that.
top it off, enjoy it. Enjoy it
Oh,
while you're
absolutely.
there, because I've been out 13 years
Yeah.
now. I miss it.
It goes so
I go
fast.
back in a heartbeat, but it goes fast. So take advantage of it.
Yeah. Carrie, you mentioned, and this is something I didn't send to you in your questions, but we got kind of learned this at one of our Freedom to Liberty retreats about individuals that passed. Any service members that you remember that you would like to say their name out loud? I know you mentioned one earlier,
Yep.
if you want to say it again, but for both of you, if any of you have any service members that have passed, if you'd like to say their name.
We got Garrett Eppinger. He passed while we're over there. Had Carl Zabel passed in Desert Shield Desert Storm while we're over there. Of course, Command Sergeant Major Jeffrey McGlynn from Wrightstown. Dan Fritch, he was a staff sergeant, first class, forgot, made us sergeant first class. He just passed away last year. Shoot, who else am I forgetting here? Now I'm put on the spot. Quite a few folks that passed. Who's the one kid that on the overpass? What's his name? That we went to his funeral in Green Bay.
You're putting me on the spot.
He was helping
You're
the
gonna have to
stranded
edit
car
all
and he
that
got
out.
hit by the car. Steiner.
Andrew Steiner.
Andrew Steiner. Yeah. Okay.
Now you got added all the way to that.
I know. Been a while.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for saying their names out loud. Again, I learned that in one of our retreats. It's important to keep remembering that.
Right.
Keep saying their names. So again, we're here with Carrie and Michelle White. In closing, the stories like Michelle and Carrie's remind us that service doesn't end when the uniform comes off. It lives on in the memories, in the lessons, and in the quiet moments that only those who served truly understand. Two individuals, different paths, different journeys, both answering the call to service something greater than themselves, both carrying the weight of responsibility in places far from home, like Bagram, Afghanistan, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and years later, finding each other, not just as husband and wife, but as two people shaped by the same oath, the same sacrifice, and the same love for this country. That kind of connection, you can't manufacture it. It's forged in service, it's built through sacrifice, and it's carried for a lifetime. The military gives you a lot: discipline, purpose, pride, but it also takes something from you. And yet what Michelle and Carrie show us is that even after the hardships, even after the long days and the weight of responsibility, something beautiful can still come from it. A life, a partnership, a legacy. Their story is a reminder that freedom is not just defended on the battlefield, it's carried forward in the lives veterans build afterward, in their families, in their relationships, in the way they continue to serve even without the uniform. To Michelle and Carrie, thank you for your service, your sacrifice, for reminding us what it truly means to stand beside someone who understands the cost of freedom. To everyone listening, take a moment today to remember that the freedoms we enjoy are not accidental. They were earned, they were defended, and they are still carried today by men and women like Michelle and Carrie. Their story matters, their service matters, and it is our responsibility to preserve them. This has been Stronger Together on the Preserving Freedom podcast with Army veterans Michelle and Carrie. I'm your host, Jason Foster, and I remind you, freedom isn't just something we celebrate, it's something we preserve every single day. Keep honoring, keep believing, and keep standing proud. Because damn, what a great day to be an American.
Hooah!
Thank you both.
You bet.